there was real-time transmission of unit result was 60.7% of the results of the places that were observed, the polling units that were observed, and no evidence of compliance with the process in 39.3% of the polling units that were observed. The Situation Room calls on government to urgently address this persistent problem, to end election violence. Voter apathy. Our observation indicates a worrying level of voter apathy with this election, in an election that should have resonated more with citizens. Situation Room knows that the turnout was very poor, while voter turnout is historically low for non-presidential elections. Our findings indicate that voter turnout was also affected by the disappointing conduct of the 25th February 2023 presidential and National Assembly election and the security concerns in different parts of the country. Voting centers in an IDP camp in Uhawa, Ovia Northeast local government of Edo State were attacked by armed hoodlums, voting materials scattered away, one person was injured seriously, and INEC ad hoc staff were forced to take refuge in a nearby house. In addition, there were reports of voter intimidation, disruption and destruction of election materials in polling units visited in other states like Enugu, Imo, Delta, Sokoto, Niger, Gombe, Nasarawa, Akwa Ibom, and Ogun states. Situation Room knows that the principal actors and propagators of election violence are well known, but have operated in an environment of absolute impunity for years. The Situation Room calls on government to urgently address this persistent problem, to end election violence. In the light of the serious shortcomings with the election, Situation Room calls for an independent inquiry into the conduct of the 2023 Nigeria general election. The independent inquiry should address, among other issues of procurement, logistic management, and abuse of electoral process by INEC and security officials. There were problems reported with the collation of results in several polling units across several states. Early report shows that there is collation of results in many states, but there are ongoing allegations of result tampering in some states, particularly Rivers and Abia. Reports from Rivers, Lagos, Imo, some of the other states indicate huge allegations of police partisanship and involvement of favor of particular interests. The usual procedure of vote counting at polling units and collation at the ward level was circumvented in violation of INEC rules. Vote buying. Situation Room observed the prevalence of vote buying across the country. This was seen in Anambra State, in Yobe, in Enugu, and Edo states. Items were given in exchange for, votes, like food items and wrappers and money as well. Amounts given were like from 500 to 5,000 in cash transfer or promissory notes. There are also reports of denial of access to journalists who tried to capture voting in a polling unit in Rivers State by some overzealous police officers. Situation Room also received a concerning report from Imo State of 19 INEC ad hoc staff who were on their way, to 7 different polling units in Ugbeli Ward 06 in Idiator South local government of Imo State being adopted by unknown persons. The party agents were present in 96.2% of the polling units observed. Those found without any agents or where the presence of the agents could not be verified represented 3.8%. The All Progressive Congress were present in 93.6% of the polling units observed, followed by the People's Democratic Party, who had a coverage of 93.3%. The rest of the parties were at 53.4%. Situation Room observed that political parties, their agents and supporters played a major role in inciting violence and disrupting elections in a number of the polling units. In Ogun State, a news agency of Nigerian reporter was among journalists molested in Itoriodo area of Abeokuta South local government, where they faced mob attack by political thugs who equally reportedly assaulted INEC officials with axes and allegedly destroyed the ballot boxes.